time I start a BookTube account. So I thought it was about time I jumped on BookTube. You may or may not have met me over on Bookstagram and BookTok, and I go by the name Reading with Katie Louise. So let's get to know me. So I'm Katie, I'm around 30 years old and I live in Yorkshire. I wanted to start a BookTube because sometimes I look at TikTok videos and think, oh my goodness, I could talk for ages about my favourite authors, my favourite things, and just generally all things books. I adore books, it is my life, I am not gonna lie, it is all I do outside of work. So let's talk genres. So this is a bookcase full of variety. I am generally a crime and thriller girly through and through. They are always my comfort books, they are what I seek out all the time, and honestly I just generally love anything that has a serial killer in it. But yeah, I have branched out since joining the other social media platforms, and I am now absolutely loving a romance for a palate cleanser, and I have even dived into the little fantasy. That being said, definitely need a palate cleanser after that because my brain is not suited for big fantasy books. I have absolutely loved reading since I was a child. I used to get bullied at school because all I ever wanted to do was be in the library in high school just reading my books. Back then I was reading Twilight, Harry Potter, so I probably was a fantasy girly back then. Not so much the crime, but they were the kind of books that got me into reading, and Jacqueline Wilson being a massive part of my childhood, and the release of her new book is certainly extremely exciting, and I have started rereading some of her old classics. Crime-wise, and now I would be lucky if I read a book a month. I since moved in with my partner, and honestly he embraces the bookworm in me and lets me just unleash everything. I drag him everywhere, to the bookshops, to the libraries, or I do it as a solo date to myself, but he just embraces the fact that all I do is buy books. He saw his desk in half for me so that I can have another bookcase, and yeah, just generally. But crime was where I discovered, and it was actually Steve Kavanagh, who you can see here in the shot, who got me into crime, and oh my goodness, I am now a massive fan. If he tours, I am there. If he releases a book, I buy it. I don't read the blurb, I just buy it. I adore his books. As I said, I've gone from reading probably 2 books a month up to sometimes 10 to 15, and this is a disclaimer. I read because I want to when I have time. I do work full time, I have quite a challenging job, and I work in like a 7 till 5 job. But reading is my like relaxing on a weekend. I permanently have my head in a book. But that being said, if you read 1 book a month, good for you, because at the end of the day we should all love reading, and I'm a massive advocate for as long as you are enjoying your book, it doesn't matter if you read 10 books a month, 1 book a month, 2 pages a month, because at the end of the day we all have one thing in common, and that is that we absolutely adore reading books and we just want to talk about them. Talk some of my favourite reads of all time. As a part of this introduction, it wouldn't be an introduction if I didn't talk about other authors that I read and general other things. Another video will come of book recommendations, but as you can see in this bookcase, I have a variety of books by several authors, but MJ Arledge is a recent addition to my absolute fangirl moment. I absolutely adore his books. They are quick, they are pacey, and I love apparently a good detective series because Steve Kavanagh is Eddie Flynn, who is actually not a detective but he's a lawyer, and he's also an ex-con, just for a bit of context. And then as well, MJ Arledge is D.I. Helen Grace. If you have been on my other platforms, then you will know how much I have loved his books and how much I rate them. I've posted the order of them. But yeah, another crime writer I absolutely have to recommend to you is Frida McFadden. I do have a collection that you cannot see in this shot, but genuinely, honestly, I came across her on Kindle Unlimited by accident and I have been obsessed ever since. She's another author by author. Quick, easy, really short reads as well. So honestly, yeah. This is most definitely my favourite read of 2023 and of all time. As I've already stated in this video, I'm a massive fan of Steve Kavanagh, but this is by far his best work I have ever come across. This was quick, pacey, and obviously the added bonus being that, it is signed by him as well. He was up for pictures, he was up for a chat, and he is so active on all the socials as well that you just feel like you know him. And it's just, honestly, this book, if you haven't read it, you do need to pick it up. It follows 2 people who both want to kill somebody and they decide to switch it, hence the title, Kill for Me, Kill for You. It takes a massive twist and a turn, but oh my goodness, you need to pick up this book. I don't want to harp on too much for my first BookTube video, but all I want to say is welcome to my channel. I hope to post regularly in the future, but this is just an introduction to me. I will go on and say, as I have just said before as a full disclaimer, I do work full time, but I want to do this for fun. I want to bring you book recommendations. I want to talk endlessly about books because I do absolutely adore books. But please say hello in the comments, and if you have any recommendations, anything like that. But yeah, thank you for coming on my very short introduction video. Let me know the kind of content you want to see. But yeah, I will definitely bring you a crime and thriller recommendation video. But thank you for tuning in, guys, and it was lovely to meet you all, and I'm so happy to be on BookTuber at last.